bebre na ewum yenko ahoto FM 92.3 etiefo joso
I think one issue a major topical issue almost all the tabloid na ago fancy. They had a tabloid in the house and you know so mean social media portals the traditional media na ago fancy on it has to do with the press conference the CJ, former CJ, or call it the suspended CJ.
That's right.
Yeah. And the Neamana Okaye no maybe the motivation on her part say she could convince Ghanaians to come to her side to believe say the processes that has been activated are leading to the removal a political witch hunt.
That's right.
And for that matter, the people of Ghana should come to her aid. Now, among turning against the government of the day. Now, why initiate the process? No, and in doing so, no, a man that kind of, if I say, moral boost to be a man Ghana for a to or mono a see a buying so. No, I can say, oh, dear, a witch hunting and that's for them. But that agenda, no, it seems it didn't fly. I'm fat.
Really?
And I blow on her face. Yes, Alaska, you can do a case research on the various media platforms.
Very well.
Look at the feedback from people from all levels. You could see clearly so what she did yesterday, you know, was rather a woman was subjecting herself for public mockery.
Public ridicule.
Yes, because you see, this Makacha said this is supposed to be a mature woman, not just a mature woman, because her age when you
a grandma.
You've been with the judiciary for quite a long while. There has been a number of high-profile decisions where you involve what give you ankoya mobi. There has been a number of decisions that what dear tia man farmer a bikura nams wako obi akono medru obi papa. That's a high-profile case. What di ama man for machiromo. None of these individuals and I can't deem your ruling injustice. Press conference because Chief Makokota may dear Samatia Mintino may press conference against the Chief Justice or the Judiciary. What to be that? And for Chief Justice, onim sa nema way na onim say a particular constitutional process has been activated against her, and the process is in motion. You know, Alaska, for her to do what she did, you know. I felt so ashamed and so embarrassed. Say, why was such a grown woman with all the experiences, you know, will betray her innate wisdom and adopt baby's wisdom? Oh yes,
Ivan.
Alaska. She betrayed her innate wisdom as a judge and adopted baby's wisdom.
That
is exactly what she said, and I'll prove it right to you. Alaska, so her name na oye na. Me nim de na opese o achieve. Said I can't maybe to smear the president because and yes sir, there is no sense in it. And Alaska, I have listened to a lot of people doing commentary, but there are crucial aspects people are not touching. The woman, Madam Toko na suspended Chief Justice. Osili in the fate. Na no, abra press conference.
Osili.
Oh, she's done. She has demonstrated clearly, sir, she's not fit in terms of character-wise. Or no beer, or what that moral, your friend is saying, integrity, the honesty on her part, you know, or you're devoid of all these basic characteristics here to Emma fit to be Chief Justice, or demonstrated clearly says she lacks all these things. Then now we'll be saying crime ban or fast obey Chief Justice. Do we have a criteria be at the heart?
That's right.
Yamanipa proven woman for a judge to be a bit like a judge. A judge, there may be knowledge into the law and a bit of credibility. But Alaska, we are talking about the administrative head of Ghana's judiciary. You need to provide extra layer of integrity and hope in terms of character. We are very rich. I'm for me to rely on you. One, Alaska, so call your constitution. I don't know if you have that. You can read clearly, say, constitution is say you send a petition the comma president. Petition cannot be made public. You can argue, say, because technology advances, people are doing their research and so bits and pieces of it can fly in the media. But there is nobody who can say something I made a buy. So the actors in question, no, you are banned by the Constitution not to disclose any bit of the content of the way in public. The president hasn't done so, and the Chief Justice isn't supposed to do so, i.e. the other lawyers involved. But Alaska, the administrative head of Ghana's judiciary, the Chief Justice, atam petition constitutional says should be heard in camera. Being heard in camera, no, it's not about the actors involved.
That's right.
The essence or the spirit behind it. You see, this is a sensitive, high-profile issues. Are very often, the disclosure in the public, can impugn the integrity of the judiciary.
Good.
So very often, the constitutional framers, in their wisdom, thought say, situation like this, we need to do it in camera. I have listened to a lot of people making some arguments. It is fair, say. But this is not the time to be making such argument. Because don't forget, a Chief Justice for how many years?
From 2023.
And reasonable, you could have envisaged the possibility of such situation popping up. So as one of the remedies now bet me suggesting say, maybe I am your Chief Justice must scan it through the Constitution. Who say this problematic. So my tenure as a Chief Justice, I'm going to collaborate with the President just to ensure that we review this particular thing. You are an irresponsible leader, and that is what she demonstrated. The Constitution says this disclosure should not be made. Tam petition the Kojina in press conference and read media content in the media. I know the day Sadia na unconstitutional.
Okay.
And I said committee ya president ati. So move your moduma. No must Chief Justice Edibim. And the president and friend back no man a juma. Anybody can petition the president on this particular disclosure we are in the press conference just to make sure say we dismiss her. Because the Chief Justice are breaching a constitutional provision. I had that article now. Actually, say you are not supposed to go public with this. And you see, sadly way I can sit here and comfortably tell you, say leakage na enam space ma. You say petition no, based on what the woman did no. You bet me Jina so aka say onim hu bi na petition na babontin because all that she has been doing is she want to push the entire petition to the public space. Say ya Ghana for be hu bi.
That's right.
Or the court. Ama Supreme Court bo assembly 2 years say enya wunti na constitution say yenye ade na public. But it is in the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian no wa bontin no. Then how they perceive the judiciary. It is not about you as a Chief Justice.
That's right.
So your wishes cannot override
the Constitution.
The Constitution and what it guarantees for the ordinary and the average Ghanaian. And yes, you might deem it unfair. Say, I want it to go public, but there is an explicit constitutional provision on it. Me say you don't need any implicit interpretation to understand that provision. It is quite clear. So the processes must be heard in camera. So Alaska, say Chief Justice for petition, na all the Bejina public no ridiculous wabumra no mumra.
Wabumra so.
And yet you associate between a free hall.
That's right.
Good. Petition I no. Obi betimi atro petition book we like newspaper way. Petition kwa. Do you know the propensity I betimi my Chief Justice akọ abonten. So Obi raise 2,000 charges against Chief Justice yenyi na dia. Se ba ko pe yetimi prove a obekofie.
You prove back.
Yes,
that's right.
Say Obi ka say mature petition that come president say only Chief Justice in free ho. Na what 2,000 allegations. If we are able to prove just one, enough for you to go home. And it's a what in the petition now. Or no comfortable zone. We have no petition or the abandon discuss it. No, but you need to discuss the entirety. Exactly, because we don't need one or two. We don't need all the petition to be proven right. Just one pet will be enough to send you packing. Alaska again. Chief Justice say. Your friend is saying, Kwanya President from Mahama Faso was signed a warrant of dismissal on Tiasia. Now President Mahama Abu Mraso, and Mranda Dahoy say Yafaso no Yam Faso. Now in the process leading to the establishment of the Premier Fasia, established merit and credence. The President Abu Mraso, Now, media for Cheshire, you look them in the face and tell them, say, this is an express constitutional provision by which you think that the actions of the president and the chief justice are infringing. The woman as a chief justice could not even mention a single infraction.
Even the article, our constitution,
yes,
that's right.
So she was advertising sheer emotions. Makacha said, this is a woman you could see, say, she appeared a bit broken, emotionally fragile. And our adopted baby's wisdom and original man for him and our advertising raw emotions and how lack of character. And then how on deep candor ewonimu said the city here chira manfo because some now all kind was subjected to critical scrutiny. You could see clearly say sabi when you there or your judge there but a dear funny reasoning logic common sense in answer any some no can because you see so we a judge now do a certain level Alaska you cannot be dabbling in conspiracy theories and I will say and as someone say you are a lawyer you speak law you speak to fact. Yes, substantial. You put you can prove.
That's right.
But if a chief justice can be dabbling in conspiracy theories in the way I say, and I suspect saying a way, then what will be the ordinary person? The ordinary person bad then. What are some American? So we a chief justice, you don't dabble in conspiracy theory because the president says, and I wake up see a baby. You see issues now, bano. You want and these are the legitimate constitutional issues I can't want them. And I'll say. Petitioners, no, mother by no, you say friend be shining star. Now call registrar general crown. You register. Alaska, let me say it quite clear. Or your chief justice, but maybe on reading constitution and tell Alaska, offer your constitution, you know, provision I cast president ever remove chief justice. No, it is written nowhere. Say obi is a group petition come president. It should be a registered group.
And I say you call registrar general
again. There is nowhere I can say. So obi throw petition akoma president I say if you within crown or the can all that the constitution mention is receiving a petition but I can't say yeah nipa per the details of principles of natural justice the kiziwa you must know your accuser.
Okay,
that is why you're making it say okay so we the petition but we need to identify the person na you who say nipa na mpa we nipa our petition free no whereby na assembly dru a yetime bisa no. But constitutionally, I want anybody to come and challenge this. There is nowhere I can say you must name yourself. But in implementing it, and putting human face on it, yentimi nkasa Alaska be the petition bra ahoto for say yampamo. Na yenhu ni pakro. Enya fair to you, meboa. You need to know who accused you.
That's right.
It's the reason why ya kase the person must be known. Now, Cecilia, your friend say, Charlotte say, petition no more the pamon no. Besin ne. Everywhere people didn't know the petition.
I was a faceless petitioner.
Besin ne. What I say. So that is why you should know say point Nana Maminu making was irrelevant and her as a chief justice should have known better. Again, I say, you didn't call Edu's Lodge. Now you acquire Sachini baby next time. Omunya kwa even the panties crop on Sachim. Because Alaska, she has demonstrated bad faith. Because issues now, you see, it's not supposed to be public. Already, you've gone to court seeking injunction, say, and you may no TV. So the probability, say, you smuggle in gadget to go and record whatever happened there to come and play. For whatever is high.
Right.
So, Obi Sachewa, you cannot fault that person who is searching you.
Wow.
What does someone make?
That's right.
Because this is a woman fighting the court to say
Emra TV
so and a court to about wagu. So what is the assurance say ye jaiwa umfa phone in as a phone call record the proceeding for Mabonting? Because and you have demonstrated that by doing a press conference talking about the petition. Until Obi Sachiwa Ebony.
And are they restricting this? How they are Babonting?
Exactly.
Wow.
Again, I say Edu's Lodge I bring bad memories. Nana what for deben that is absolute nonsense. That is rubbish.
Oh how?
Alaska. We are talking about somebody who will be accused you. Yes, a committee investigating. You don't determine where you sit. Who cares about your uncle memory? Now wouldn't my mom for uncle memory hand yomo? The very people called to jail you or go prison as for do you know how people are being handed there? Alaska, who cares about your emotional feelings? 2.3. About na me wa father. So she deliberately cave in the killing of the judges and link it to the present NDC government just to make people know say omo ba sa na omo tie na omo kun judges some time ago so enya me nwanwa say ne omo tumase. That was the impact of the message, a coded word and all the share. Wow. Who cares about your feeling? It is not about your feeling. I expect that the Chief Justice will contest key issues non-discussing the merit. Yababa Alaska Afi or say, why ya my ne Ninuanom judge for no Moti Supreme Court Akumiano Sono Obu Bonimtia. Making look like say they are just some Niamafumbi, especially right. Justice Ponamai. Justice Ponamai was at the Supreme Court before this lady came in. Or you senior. Bibin a year bibintia and Abasin no home. Your friend say Chief Justice. Bafu Boni has been at the year for very long time. Over 2 munina. But Oba you were treating them like rags because so henna no our the year we no omunipa.
Oh, sir.
Oh yes.
Na no keke.
Oh na wu enra no say wadwo. Wu ni poster ni poster uti say why uti say boga ya mere. Because this is a typical arrogant woman who doesn't give a damn about anybody. She thinks that she's sitting on the moon or the sky. Obia should bow down. Who kind of us will address it Justice Ponamai and other people.
That's right.
And the argument in say Justice Ponamai and no kwatena case involve Daniel Ofori. Now really no more no Justice Ponamai wrote to right dissenting view the honorable ruling in favor of Daniel Ofori in the case yabasin ko enti enno enam said Justice Ponamai ruling for Justice Ofori paintino to her no onya fit to sit as a chair of the committee. That is absolutely nonsense because Alaska, this is a Chief Justice and an administrative head. You should be able to vouch for the integrity of your core people. So are they telling us that Obi a judge, dear Sama Alaska, and you will create a fraternal alliance with you to the sense that case be a media amount? Is that the kind of judiciary she was supervising? Say Obi dia Samo Obi, then you build a family or some kind of a fraternal alliance with the person. Say subsequent issue be and you will be biased. So if the Chief Justice man make us say and run no expose soon who actually Ghana for say onya fit for purpose because Alaska if the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana cannot guarantee the integrity and the honesty and the fidelity of her own colleagues no more panel no so do you expect here to trust any judge? Chief Justice or no say omobeye bias etia no and she is scared of her own colleagues. And obi ono tie akurase anase ohene bi a ote ebi anungwa bi ode na saase sem eko Supreme Court no. You want that ohene no to have faith in the judiciary when Chief Justice Rankasa no doesn't have faith. Does it make sense?
If you are what you can nipa no nyi omundi.
Alaska mamen san kan asem bi afa osan soro ya o say your friend saying yesi wotu kwan na otu kwan no yesi ode ni kunu ne man koye na constitution na create allowance say otu kwan a say ode security eko na security no wasn't mentioned the here security no say odo obi be kan ho na ode na ko Alaska maka just say we Chief Justice o ne wo ho.
That's right.
When you are traveling out there in a private capacity in a bra we adwuma there state because don't forget Ghana so no yanso your friend is saying security people are omo ye adwuma outside so even in the shadow just like the CIA have spies everywhere in Ghana you obi so you can be a Chief Justice you'll be walking London nipa no mo nam ho mo kono be akwa no security di wachi we have these things in place but when you are going for your private things they say go with the security because we don't stop here to be a Chief Justice. We are Ghana for Chief Justice in as much as we call private way no. Okwa bibi betimi.
That's right.
Even though it is private bibi towa. E can Ghana for because obi betimi akwache wo akwache baby and they will force you to divulge details secret be any say babonten. I don't know you will hurt the country. It's the reason why they said who to find even in your private capacity for security ka wo ho. Now when you can say security back one and be to be but symbolically representing BB. Now nobody bet me BB. And go with somebody on 2 separate occasions. Who could try plane take it my way oba. on another occasion could try plane take it ma ukunu et tia pedium ne na for the maomo enya John Mahama na kotro to ho se ye fa sa ade no aye bone nti obi metro petition the audit service of this country audited you and they wrote a report on it and they flagged that thing. So who will be blamed now? Go and blame the judicial service. And yet John Mahama na kasa why body. The audit report is available. They wrote and concluded say Sadia na Chief Justice no ego and the money must be retrieved. One kasa bedi one dance say Sikano Yamabi kodi you sign the bye. And they sit down with your conscience and how this can be beba. So Obika say young petition Nemrawa Obone or my saying. And again, Alaska, Supreme Court and Chief Justice is supervisor over no. Okay, Justice Gau is a wine. Yes, I'm a cofana by I was it a go. Madam Medina money. You're saying, go, your friend, your friend saying, sorry, I know your friend's a lawyer for the Speaker of Parliament raise a papa will minimum. On I know yet parliamentary candidate for MPP or who central. So about saying such a high profile issue a political tentacles no our political way no would not better so Chief Justice on finance and so on and yet politics no more no constitution.
That's right.
So maybe say na say committee no matia or more investigative Chief Justice no a political issue.
No, now
John Mahama papa tisubi. Ne ma metisubi. And I say don't get it so. Chama say chama for example for kan bi.
That's right.
So what makes it political? Nipa no mugusu obi wa political identity. Domlivo a politician. So then a man political way. O young judges too so. So I'm saying that the woman should just shut up and face the process. Either you quit because process is no coso. Unyam free mo. So what is the point coming to the public to talk about the things that she said? And again, I'll say, instead of me really feel Kyei. I'll say a man for sending no your friend say threat messages and say on resigning na position no is untenable na say for Alaska. What he has to see obi send a message say radio ya what is so from Monday going over transfer ombeku ade na we
must go to the police.
So you as an ordinary person say you threatening wa okọ police who how much boy Chief Justice enti me catch say enye baby's wisdom na adopt ya. You will not disclose some of these things in public because you know what to do. You can only tell the media, say, a man for threatening me, my report to the police, and this is the update on it. If people are threatening you to resign from your position, and the media say, a criminal issue, and I will sympathize with you, go and report to the CID and any of the investigative bodies for them to take the issue up.
That's right.
So you don't come and add it up and make it look like Obi na threatening. And again, I say, Kwanya President Mahama first or more establish a premier fast no or more jampe anyway. And I make a say, me too a man for say winya to me. Yeah, people should come down from the high horses. Na yamaya drain and yajuma. Alaska, Martina ha culture a lot say your 1992 constitution, you know. Outlive the usefulness. There are several portions of it. And who here any linkage to maybe I call in there we are say so it is important we look at those essential aspects na ye amend it. Alaska ya tina kroma me catch it say ya kase ye establish a premier facia in a case ya submit akwa president. The constitution, you know, any procedural arrangement be or there to say.
That's right.
We move from A, we move to B, we move to C. Yes, people can speak to a judicial president, but judicial president, you know, is not binding on another judge.
Okay.
They can only take inspiration or maybe take a cue from it, but it doesn't bind them.
As a reference.
As a reference. Yes, you can depart from the earlier ruling and set a new precedent. You understand? So, say Chief Justice say process na President Mahama fast or the koyaya or the sign warrant man illegal. I'm saying illegal on what basis? Because constitution said the president will receive a petition, forward same to Council of State. Council of State will delve deeper into the issue and report back to the president. This known process justice there come former Lamte Alaska. The process obia circumventing the process and the Chief Justice in him say, sir process no an error. a time as a chief justice, she could have caused that particular thing to be regularized in such a way, sir. In establishing a premier fast here, we need to go through this procedural arrangement. And Sana, yet Miaka said, indeed, there is credit, there is merit. She didn't do any of these things. Now what I didn't have two Bob one do. Then you are telling people, say, the president erred. I'm telling you, sir, the president never erred anywhere because they laid down procedures now over the years. That is what he did.
I see, are you politically motivated?
In what sense? In her twisted mind, that is what she thinks. Because at the end of the day, in Alaska, I will send you the ruling. Supreme Court a ruling on her case.
Okay.
I've been posting episodes on it on Facebook. And I say, who read it? Your friends said the ruling now. It will be very interesting.
Wow.
The young judge for I can't say. The wishes now, I think say that is the law. No, that is not the law. On one, the young judges can't say. In some now, okay, I am the personal wishes and emotions and feelings, and she cannot substitute that particular thing for the law.
Wow.
So the mere fact is that yeah, judge, and no doesn't mean say we wouldn't be our Alaska. That is why your panel.
That's what you're not, mammy. Why you're born into Oma Bona to her.
Alaska.
The question is, one I would do Waba. No, what I mean is that once we boom Rasu for years.
Yeah, for sure.
So Afena Yedim Rano
and what she was doing, as to whether it's lawful or not, it clearly means that to them, no, it was unlawful.
Exactly.
So it's now time for her to face what is the law.
Exactly.
And that is what they are doing.
Good.
So, and at Debbie Amakacha said, when you're to me now, baby, treat Nipa well.
That's right.
Because accept to what you need Nipa never can be amount. The press conference, yeah, just try to help public sentiment,
That's right.
Alaska, why not who's a what's your all come on and the MPP no more Barbos no more defend the chief justice and who are more baby.
Because
the people defend you have no credibility. And then John Mahama, what's me and Emfa? Do you know why? The gentleman was president, was assaulted, was everything was done to him. He comes back to become president. This time there is a lot of goodwill on his side.
Exactly.
Things are going positively for him. And for you to turn the tide against him, you need to have a substantial tenor. And you know, so I bet him that convince Ghana for say, Papa, I did all ye in the pabon. And Ghana for you should come to my aid. Wouldn't to meeting if you are Ghana for sorry, no tatama for dinner. Exactly. So sanity. So you see, answer now ride against the tide. It means that you have something substantial. But to the average Ghanaian now, friend, Alaska. Ghana need that birth certificate and your primary document and a passport.
That's right.
Average Ghanaian Makola woman to me who said Sa really no Sabinyan Sabi and it was coming from the Supreme Court. And you want them to respect you. And the Obiti baby no say we need to reset the judiciary. Ghana will fall for that particular thing.
For sure.
Have you Ghana Nina? We see Ghana card never qualify for way no. And or your foreigner, or you then over to your age. And a foreigner.
Alaska.
Yes, sir.
Ghana for Uncle Law School, the Ghana Uncle Law School da. Supreme Court the ruling ba. Now what Tanasaka said, this is absolute rubbish.
That's right.
Because Nyansa from the Supreme Court or not even lower court. And that person ni dream ni say, yeah, making sure say yes, sanitize the judiciary. Now I look better, now a serve purpose. You think that Ghana will come to your aid when you have nothing sensible to say? Alaska, Ghana for are sick and tired of some of these tracks. And some of the kind of me Kyei Bianca Bemede. Unse Dawson.
You better call back.
And some na all brosono. My catcher say it was a politically staged, emotionally driven kind of attention shopping stunt. And all yeah. But unfortunately for her, no, emfa. Because my culture says, we need public office. Now we have to say, we need to pay 2 minutes bedim class. Sem asora tini paso ayo. Who sabi? Oswajimai ebi mada Alaska. And maybe be through ubaya mobo. And that is exactly what she's going through.
Over 2 bread food.
As some now all can say, I say, free say Ghana, yes, set your constitution. Chief Justice be anywhere. Yeah, subject to it. Na Alaska, auntie.
That's always first in first.
Na Alaska, the mere fact say you be done doesn't mean you to find you. And some nam rantia no cano, I won't you know so. And some back on some kind, so I say, Daniel for issue now more than a court no ye nyina judges ne akotena se ne adi asem ntia ba ne say na judicial ruling no they have this way abom judicial immunity from ruling and adentina asem akotena so wadi no obi betimi agina sa asem no so e dey actual petition Alaska. Let me answer that particular thing. She's lying because yakasa judicial ruling and our judicial proceedings are terminate the very moment a ruling is read in court.
Okay.
On it your friends police in the issue no. The ruling was read and that ended the matter. Yeah. The gentleman was about leaving the courtroom. And this okay ruling over can't say after the proceedings no one no off record comment. So off record comments now cannot be captured to be part of a judicial ruling proceedings. I need to enjoy immunity. I don't know whether you get a point.
That's right.
Because proceeding no more ruling what buana for and I walk out to man for say you're incompetent. Now some no sort as a lawyer no he's supposed to know better. So yes, that cannot be part of a judicial process. I until you think you enjoy immunity. And Alaska, Chief Justice is a liar. Oh yes.
Oh, why you calling
I'm telling you, sir, or lack integrity, and she cannot be Chief Justice. Now, no, some no original so not all cannot. The biggest of it all, they say, how can you ask me to come and appear before a committee and I don't know my charges?
That's right.
And the petitioner no reading no. Now you run.
Because
I'm asking you, petitioner na or church no. Now you run.
How did she get it?
Alaska, now you run.
A petition.
Now, Diana, actual letter come out President Mahama, or man a copy or respond there, you know, and also na a Bible. I say, onim, at the entire committee, not tennis issue na ye dino, onim ho she, Ghana for Mumra. John Mahama say yen to me.
Or your film version of Untumi.
Yeah, for sure.
You see,
for sure.
We saw a comic version of the Chief Justice. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, sir. That person or lack candor or lack integrity, and you can never trust her. Because beginning, now one actual letter come out, president say on my copy, and at that time I told you, sir, president shouldn't have given her a copy.
Because
constitution, you know, and making allowance for that. You wait till we set up a committee and sign. My woman no catch you be say only copy of Nema Ekoso. And the Ghana force should come to her aid. I didn't tell you some not charges against her and only when in the past you are more a copy of the petition, you've responded to the petition, and you are even discussing the content of the petition against the law of the land. Today you are telling people say you don't know the content of the petition. Can you trust that person?
No.
So you see, she's a politician.
Oh
yes.
I'm a politician.
Yes. And this whole process started here. She has been exercising a number of silly decisions. They are not in line with high profile Chief Justice. Alaska. Issue here cause one kasa man for to din say your son mame. Whether you admit or you don't. It means that politically, you know, there has been a certain profiling, a certain characterization that also. Because it's a politics, perception is everything.
Sure.
So in doing so and having this in mind, you know, so your lawyer, you don't go for immediate past offense, attorney general, or you're known to the party. You see, you have the right to go, but intellectually, a very weak discretion to exercise.
Exactly.
So, Ebasa, you only justify and send a man for a canon.
Affirm what?
Yes, the perception people have said, on your one echo. An issue by people who have been taking court upon court upon court are the same people. You see, decisions now, air cost decisions are frauded with a lot of way. And again, issues now, you can say, who's that? The who here no one can. With me, time judicial contract now, they are my so sourcing. Obaba. Say on supply nkonwa or more dining table embedded in
I know one can baby also say about man public sympathy
no can ho Alaska. So I think say woman no she's a drama woman or a drama woman, and we see nema no ye no press conference no ye no so no akotena so no odwene obo hu sabi. She acted on baby's brain. Baby's wisdom. She acted on baby's wisdom because feedback, you know, a backlash. Sabi, wan kokra nkeye.
Right.
But me say afuto ni say ade start here so obetena na be very honest. I sat here and I told you say the woman should resign. Say be ya unsubjecting who to public mortification.
But I say oh yes sir, obe losing all the entitlement.
Na de ekeka kwa ndi obenya entitlement. Because at the end of the day, the ruling is that the thing Bible thing. People are going to read details of everything that happened, and you think, and that thing is going to be very dirty. It will destroy your reputation. It's going to be on the record. Say, when we are the first Chief Justice under the Fourth Republic, and you are the first Chief Justice. Wobu mraso, mra known say what the petitioner supposed to be public, you know. What the question TV so I come once. Makacho say. Even if this process is on retina, there will be another petition on this matter. I will boom raso. I know so no call for her removal. And to obi too for say quiet press conference. Nipano watu bua brabo yada watu afutu pan answer watu afutu bone. Alaska, some of these people know who I say the mere fact that you are there it doesn't mean that you know everything. Maybe they need consultant in terms of making basic common sense decision as a form. Open dollar kakra biba, we will help you in some of these things. Alaska.
Right.
Alaska, I feel ashamed that Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana will stand in front of camera and be making such childish allegations, such infantile revelations, things that are not supposed to be speculating, throwing conspiracy theories here and there. Yeah, and yet befitting of somebody of her status. And for me, whoever that is advising her, no, she will ask her to. And the other question maybe that or Kotena committee in Nimbium. And or Kotena just the Panamine and Kropo and Nimbium. Dear why? You don't do this.
I even J innocent now 10 and Kai. Takes us to 11 minutes into 4.